We have a moment that we have dreamed of since doTERRA was born. And actually for me goes way back to 25 years ago. Today I am thrilled to announce the launch of the world's first commercially produced 100% pure birch essential oil. Woo! I know you've all been waiting a very long time for this magnificent oil, and you probably wondered if we would ever get to this moment. I've wondered the same thing, but we have been relentless in our pursuit. Our journey with birch is a demonstration of how far we will go in the pursuit of purity. This morning, I want to share some of that pursuit with you. We used to source a limited amount of birch from a small-scale producer to include in convention kits. I'm sure some of you here have a bottle that you've been cherishing and rationing. How many of you have? Yes? And afraid to even, give up one drop. It's been something that's been cherished. As I went through my mother's things, I found her most treasured possessions. There were several bottles of birch that were coveted from past convention kits. She purchased as many as she possibly could because she loved birch so much. Well, 7 years ago, we outgrew our ability to source the amount of birch we needed, and we began to work to find a solution for pure birch that could be a permanent fixture at doTERRA. This process has been harder than we ever imagined. We thought we'd be ready last year, but as you might recall, we were very transparent with you as we shared all of the challenges that we faced of why we couldn't bring the new pure birch to you. I know you were disappointed. We were too. But an amazing thing about life is that we have the choice to keep pushing forward, to truly pursue what we want in life means we don't give up when we're faced with trials. Birch trees are a testament to this. Do you know birch is known as a pioneer species? This means it's one of the first species that returns after the land has been cleared. Not only are they the first to return, they're among the most resilient of trees. In the fiercest of storms and under the weight of heavy snowfall, they bend, but rarely break. This is a good metaphor for our journey to bring pure birch essential oil to market, but also helps us better understand the characteristics of birch. In 2016, right around the time we were losing confidence in our ability to source the volumes we needed, we received an email that started us on the path to pure birch essential oil. The email was sent by a gentleman named Royce. He shared with us that he had an extensive number of birch trees growing on his family farm in the Allegheny Mountains. They weren't using the trees, and Royce wanted to find some productive use for the birch. That's where we come in. It's amazing when we have a clear vision, you become a magnet for the things that you need to keep moving that vision forward. 1 month after receiving Royce's email, our sourcing team was on the ground in Pennsylvania. We weren't the first company Royce contacted, but everyone else said no. None of the companies Royce contacted were interested in distilling pure birch because they already had birch oil, or so they thought.
Plants require a natural diversity to thrive: light, water, oxygen, nutrients, etc. If you think about it, it's a whole lot easier to control the variables in a lab setting. It's really, really easy to synthesize something in a lab.
Everyone gets surprised with this question: why is there no true birch sample? And there are a couple of reasons. Wintergreen and birch are 99% similar, but there are 1% compounds that makes wintergreen different from birch oil. Most of the lab will miss the testing. They will only look for methyl salicylic molecules on birch oil, and which is the same in wintergreen. So most of the lab fails on testing pure birch oil. Last year, we did market survey for birch oil. They were claimed to be 100% pure and natural birch oil. We found pure wintergreen, and we found wintergreen mixed with synthetic methyl salicylate. None of them were pure. None of them even had 1 drop of birch oil.
Is it hard to believe? Whoa, this is a moving moment. Right? It really is. So, can you believe that none of the 27 birch essential oil samples that were tested, all claimed to be pure, had a single drop of birch oil? Dr. Setchell's research on the chemistry of pure birch essential oil, which was published just last year, is truly groundbreaking. I mean, how cool are our scientists? Seriously. Yeah. Best in the world. Do you want to see the oils he tested that proved not to have a single drop of birch oil in the bottle? Yeah? The sad reality within the essential oil industry is that so often companies choose the easy way instead of the right way. They put profits over people, or they simply don't know what they have. We've invested so much to make sure we know exactly what is in that bottle. We have hired the best of the best in the world that work right here for you to make sure that the products you're using are not only safe, but they are effective and they are exactly what we claim they are to be. Most of the birch oils on the market are actually wintergreen. Others are 100% synthetic methyl salicylate, which is often synthesized from petrochemicals or isolated from, get this, expired bottles of aspirin. Detecting synthetic methyl salicylate is hard to do because this molecule has no chirality. Now, chirality, as you may remember, is when a molecule has two forms that are structurally the same, but are mirror images of one another, like a left and a right hand, like you can see here with linalool. So each constituent has a unique molecular chirality ratio. This is the fingerprint that determines what plant that molecule came from. And because methyl salicylate has no chirality, no left and right hand, you can't detect its origin using simply a GCMS. So even if a company uses a GCMS to test their sample of birch, they won't be able to detect synthetic methyl salicylate coming from petrochemicals or expired aspirin. So in addition to using GCMS, our science team uses carbon-14 analysis to determine the age of the constituent. This test shows if the origin of methyl salicylate is fossil fuel, salicylic acid from expired aspirin, or from a birch tree that was recently harvested in Pennsylvania. I'm sharing this with you so that you can understand why the essential oil market is so flooded with synthetic essential oils. There have been no standard of purity in the essential oil industry. No one is making sure that what is in the bottle matches what is on the label. It is essential that you know what's in your bottle. Synthetic methyl salicylate can cause great harm, whereas pure methyl salicylate can be extremely beneficial, especially when it's in combination with all of the other constituents naturally found in birch. This is why we invest so much time, effort, and resources into ensuring that every bottle that has the doTERRA brand on it is certified pure, tested grade. We hold ourselves to a higher standard of purity and potency because we not only expect results from every bottle of doTERRA essential oil, but we also ensure they are safe. Our families depend on this, and so do yours. Wintergreen is often substituted for birch because they are both primarily comprised of methyl salicylate, which is the active ingredient in most sports rubs. It's what gives these rubs that warming effect. Wintergreen is much cheaper. Although birch and wintergreen have similar chemistry, there is power in the way that they differ, and particularly the minor constituents. Birch is higher in aldehydes and phenols, which are constituents with strong biological activity. The way it reacts on the body is very, very different, and those of you who have used birch know this. It is extremely easy and inexpensive to make synthetic birch in a lab, and it is extremely difficult to distill birch essential oil from trees. That is why we were unable to find a single commercial birch distillery anywhere in the entire world. Our initial experiments were not particularly successful because we couldn't get the volatiles from the trees, and we were not sure how we were going to be able to pull this off. And since no one was distilling birch beyond small stovetop stills, there wasn't anyone we could ask for help. Until we met Skip Kavanaugh. Skip is one of the only people in America who still knows how to distill pure birch essential oil. Skip's father taught him the secrets. History is forgetting how to distill birch oil, but thanks to the Kavanaugh's family and their willingness to teach doTERRA what they know, it won't be forgotten anytime soon.
We had been able to procure birch bark pretty easily with Royce's help. And so we were able to send pure birch bark to different distillers across the world, and each of them could prove that there was birch oil in the bark, but none of them could really prove the process to obtain that oil out of the bark. And eventually, through a lot of effort, Royce was able to find a gentleman named Skip.
My name is Grant Kavanaugh. My nickname is Skip Kavanaugh.
I've been around birch stills since I was 3 years old.
A lot of that history is oral. One thing about history is if it ain't written down, it didn't happen. If you Google birch stills, they would say there were birch stills in Tioga County, Pennsylvania. End of story. It didn't tell the sweat and the blood and the work that actually went into this. But nobody's in this business anymore.
Before Skip, we had no record of birch essential oil production. It had become a lost art. But with Skip's record keeping and the knowledge that he learned from his father, we've been able to piece together the process by which we can produce birch essential oil.
I was excited that someone was interested. I've seen fledgling businesses start up and go away.
And the big chemical companies, they found a way to replicate it through chemistry, but it's not natural. That's what brings us back to where we are today with this company, is that they're making essential oils and it is going to be natural, back the way it was. It's progressively moving backwards to be more natural. And to me, that's a good thing, very good thing.
I love these amazing people we get to meet along the journey. Producing birch on a commercial scale has never been done before, but with Skip's meticulous records and a little help from our esoteric team in Bulgaria, we engineered a custom distillation process. There was a lot of trial and error, but working all together, we figured it out. For example, we discovered that birch oil smells best when it has been aged. When it comes fresh off the still, it doesn't smell so good. So after distillation, we let the essential oil mature in these mixing vats that are stirred 24/7 for 300 hours. This is not easy to produce. There were so many complexities that we had to figure out. This has been a true labor of love.
The opening of the facility here at Woodside Oils was the definition of a team effort. While we always knew that producing birch oil was possible, gaining the mentorship of Skip was invaluable for learning the distillation process. He taught us things that only could have been learned after generations of practice and testing. Things like determining the correct species of birch, the appropriate age and diameter of the tree, and the best season for harvesting. Birch oil is a very low yield, and we were yet to find anyone producing pure birch on a large scale. This is where Esoteric came and played a crucial role. In the early stages, we actually sent them 2 loads of birch bark and asked if they would help us research and assist in the design of the equipment to perfect our process and increase our production, transforming the small-scale distillation process into a commercial operation. Thanks to the assistance of Skip, Esoteric, and many others, we're confident in saying that we now operate the only commercial-scale facility in the world that produces pure birch oil.
Oh, this is such a happy day. So birch has an invigorating, fresh scent. I love to put a drop or 2 in my hands and just breathe it in when I need some energy. There is nothing quite like the aroma of birch, but it's so much more than its aroma. The oil produces a warming sensation on the skin that is perfect for recovering after a long run. If I'm feeling stiff at all, or if my joints are hurting, I'll massage birch oil into the area where I feel that stress melting away. I feel like birch seems to penetrate deeper into my tissues and into my muscles than even wintergreen. And you'll see the difference in that 1% as you apply it to your skin. So I want you to have this experience of birch. I want you to put it on your skin. I want you to breathe it in. I want you to appreciate this labor of love that has been made, knowing we are the first and only. Our birch is the result of years of dedication and passion. It's a testament to our core principles of sourcing the best and helping the most. I want to express my heartfelt thanks to those who joined us on this journey. To Royce, the Kavanaugh family, to Jared, Ben, AJ, Lindsay, Plowman, Tim, Prabodh, and to you, our doTERRA family. Would you like to bring the Birch Heroes out on stage with me so that you can thank them in person? Yes? All right, come on out. We've got Royce, Lindsay, AJ, the sourcing team. Woo! Right. You too. And every time the song gets heavy, I know that I ain't done. The best is yet to come. These are your heroes, our sourcing heroes. Woo! And every time they said, I don't think it's possible, like keep trying, and they pulled it off. So I know they're gonna wanna come and talk to you. They're gonna wanna learn all about this process and all about birch. So where can they find you?
So we'll be at the product showcase on Friday between 1:30 and 3 o'clock. So we hope to see you all there.
Yes. Can you give them a huge round of applause? Thank you all so much.